Hi, it's Tracy from Two Rocks Tarot. Back with another update. But first of all, before I start, I want to thank Lisa from, is it Keratin's Cauldron? I think that's her channel name now. I know she changed it and I've forgotten, but she actually did a candle holding me in light for when I go on my surgery, which I had last Wednesday on the 10th of March. I'm filming this on the 19th of March. And because I did mention in the video prior to this that I get really nervous when it comes to going under anaesthetic. Well, this time I wasn't nervous at all. Not one little bit. I slept like a log the night before. On the day when I got admitted, I was really not nervous at all. I can't believe it. Even when I was in the surgery, when I had to go back on the table and an anaesthetist was putting in my anaesthetic, and I was actually joking with my surgeon to make sure that he takes the right breast off, and that's all I remember. So it was really good. But I'm actually very lucky to be sitting here because I very nearly died. And it had nothing to do with with my mastectomy at all. What you probably remember is I used to have can you see all the redness and the bruising there? I had a PICC line inserted in there. So I had my operation and that went really well. And they took me up into my room to recover, and they brought me some sandwiches and some soup to eat. And then all of a sudden, I could not stop shaking. I was shaking like a leaf, literally, and I just could not stop. All of a sudden, sirens went off. It was a code red. They kicked my husband out of the room. There was 8 people around me. They giving me X-rays. They were pumping me. My heart rate was through the roof, and they were pumping me with these medicine to try and get me stable. They had people, very lucky that this happened in hospital and not at home here in Two Rocks, so I probably would be sitting here. So luckily the people from intensive care unit, they're the ones who actually come up and took care of me. Then they whisked me down into a HDU unit, which is a high, it's the one just underneath intensive care, so it was a high care unit. And what actually happened is, what they figured out was my PICC line got infected. Now, prior to this, for the last 2 weeks, I was kind of feeling slightly under the weather. My temperature still was good, because when you've got cancer, you've got to take care of your temperature. If it's 38, you've got to go to the hospital. Don't even wait. 38, get to the hospital. So my temperature was through the roof as well. But the couple of weeks prior to that, I used to have to get put a plastic cover on my arm when I had a shower, so the PICC line didn't get wet, and I noticed that was pretty tight. And also I couldn't wear the ring that I usually wear on this finger. I'm not wearing any jewelry at the moment because I'll explain that in a minute. But that was tight as well, but it didn't click to me that anything was actually wrong with me. So what they think has happened is that the PICC line was infected. Even though I got it flushed every week, we got a company here called Silver Chain, and they come to your house and they they flushed it and changed the bandage and all that sort of thing. So what they think happened is when I had my anaesthetic, it pushed the infection into my body really quickly, and that's why I crashed. So I actually went into septic shock. So and sometimes when you go into septic shock, they've got to actually put you into a coma. Because all your organs shut down. So I can't tell you how lucky I was that this actually happened in hospital, and that I had this team from ICU ready to work on me. Like within seconds they were there. They were just there straight away. So my poor husband was freaking out because he said it was just like you see in the movies when people start fitting, and then he said he was just freaking out. I felt so sorry for him. But one of the nurses kept on going downstairs and keeping him updated on my condition and what was happening. So the first lot of antibiotics that they put on me didn't work. This infection was resistant to it. So they actually, infectious disease control, they spoke with a guy there, and he worked out to put me on something different, because on that same night I did wake up again very hot, and I had ice packs under each arm, cold flannels on my neck and my head. Temperature was up again, and they called a doctor down, and she spoke with someone infectious disease control and whatever they called, and he come up with a different set of antibiotics, and that's what finally started getting me well. So I was having that I was having that through the drip 3 times a day, plus an anti-inflammatory just to keep, it's this side, the mirror image, and antibiotics as well. So I was having that 3 times a day, like regular on clockwork, 6 o'clock in the morning, midday, and then 10 o'clock at night, and constantly having my blood pressure and everything monitored. I'm still having a bit of trouble with my pulse, but, I've seen the cardiologist and, nothing's been said about it. So I actually go back to the surgeon on the 23rd of March, which he will remove this bandage and have a look at my scar and everything, and I suppose I'll find out the exact results. I mean, it says on my discharge notes it was just a routine mastectomy, which it was, and that he sent away the lymph nodes that got taken out to be, accessed and everything like that. And then I go back on the 30th of March to my oncologist to see if I need further chemo treatment, and I'm going to insist that if I need chemo, I want to be taken it orally. I do not want a PICC line or anything like that inserted in my body, because I'm really, really lucky to be alive. I really, really am. So I don't want anything like that, so I'm going to see if I can take that orally. Because I was due to have another 4 rounds of chemo after my surgery anyway. I was supposed to have 8 and then surgery, but because it grew that 1 centimetre, I decided that I'd rather just get the breast off and continue on afterwards with it. So that's what happened to me. I don't do anything by halves, do I? As far as pain goes, I have had not any pain whatsoever from my mastectomy. I can't tell. I thought I would be in a lot of pain, but no. It was a little bit swollen. It's gone right down, but the pain is mainly in my arm where I had the lymph nodes taken out. So I've got to do these special exercises for the first week 3 times a day, so that it doesn't get all stiffened up, and you don't get what's called edema in the arm where it all swells up. So I've got to be super careful. So I've been doing my exercise. I've also on 2 weeks of antibiotics. I've got to take oral, quite strong antibiotics for another 2 weeks as well, to make sure that none of this infection is available. I like a pincushion. You can see I've got bruises. I don't even know if I'm going to show you that one underneath. I've got a big bruise there. Because I was so dehydrated and my veins were shit because of this infection. They actually had to get an ultrasound and a longer needle to actually get into my vein so they could give me my medicine, because that's how bad I was. Now, I feel terrific. I feel more like myself, and I think I even look better. I've got colour in my face again and everything like that. I haven't bothered with my eyebrows. I've got no eyebrows left, but I've noticed they're starting to come back, and underneath my scarf I've got a very fine sort of head of hair, which is actually pure white, and I'm really, really hoping that it actually stays pure white, because I love white hair. It saves me a fortune dyeing it to go white. So, but if I need more chemo, it's probably going to fall out again. But I was due to have another 4 rounds, so we'll see what's going to happen with that. I've got to have some radiotherapy under the arm. They always do that when they take your lymph nodes out, to make sure there's no cancer left. And then I'll go on the hormone therapy. It's not hormone replacement, it's an actual hormone therapy, which helps stop the cancer reoccurring in my other breast, or anywhere else for that matter of fact, because mine was hormone-induced cancer. So that's what happened to me. I was in hospital from 10th of March, Wednesday, and I got out on the following Tuesday. So I was nearly, so what's that make it? I'll just see if I can get my calendar up here. So I was in there. Now, usually when you go for a mastectomy, you're in there from so I was on there from the 10th. So I was in there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, exactly 7 days. So usually when you have a mastectomy, you're in there for 3 days at the max. And knowing me, because I had no pain and I was really good and mobile, I could have gone the next day. But because of this, I went into septic shock, and it was very, very serious. They had to keep me all that long because I was on them, 3 times a day. I had to have the intravenous drugs put through me to get rid of this this infection that I had. It was very, very serious. So I thought I would make a video because you don't really hear about that much, and I knew you had to be very careful with your PICC lines, which I was. I was super careful with it, you know, and so were the nurses when they came, you know, they cleaned inside the nozzle and everything, like, except I had one nurse the week before who didn't actually do that. She just flushed it, and I keeps playing in the back of my mind. She was just, to be honest, she was a dopey bitch. I'm just going to say it. All the other nurses that I've had come here are absolutely beautiful, but she didn't seem to really take much care in it. So I'm kind of wondering if she was the cause of it or exacerbated it as well. You're definitely not going to get one of them put in me. So I'm going to have a talk with the oncologist to see if I can take. So I know you can take some orally ones, and I don't think I'll have to go on the super strong chemo now because my breast has been removed. So there you have it. But as far as I'm not in any pain whatsoever. I have to wear my husband's singlets because, you know, you need the big under the arm, because I can't wear a bra yet for my one boob. So hopefully that doesn't hang down to my knees by the time I can again. But otherwise, I feel really, really good. I've got more energy. I still can't do a lot because I can't lift my arm above my head, which you can't do anyway, and you can't do any lifting for a month. I don't think I can drive for that long as well. You have to be very, very careful. So my husband's, you know, he's got to hang out the washing and stuff. Like, I can't do that because I can't actually lift up my arm that far. Every day I get more and more mobility in my arm because I'm very strict with myself in doing my exercises. Because he did say that you might feel some sort of numbness in here, but mine's actually at the back. It feels a bit funny, but I can still kind of feel it, but not. But that sort of dissipates after a while. So I'm looking forward to getting this the bandage off on my breast, which my surgeon will take. It's actually going to be on my birthday, so I look at it as I'll be 55 on the 23rd of March, and I look at this as a new lease of life as I'm being reborn. You know, I truly, truly do. I've been given a gift. I've really been given the gift of a new life. Even the nodes have been sent away for analysis, but when I found out that this tumour grew that slight bit, he did say he had an ultrasound. He's got an ultrasound in his office, my surgeon, and he did say that was nice and flat. So it was only one of them that was raised, but he took the lot out anyway. He doesn't piss fart around, this surgeon. He's really, really good. So he took the lot out, and of course they would have been sent off to pathology and things like that. And I was supposed to see the oncologist on the same day, but he made it a week later. So I doubt that there is anything sinister going on. But that's why you have the radiotherapy under your arm anyway, to make sure that it's completely gone. And then I'll find out chemo-wise what I have to have. So there you have it. That's what happened to me. But I thought I'd make this video because everybody has, you know, I had lots of people messaging me on Messenger and all sorts of things, and Instagram and all that. So despite the septic shock, really the operation went without a hiccup. It was fine, you know. Even on my discharge, it just says a routine mastectomy. It was very, very routine. It was just very lucky it didn't happen here, because Two Rocks, the hospital from here is about half an hour away. So if it had happened here, and to get the ambulance here, I might not be sitting here, because that's what they told me. And the intensive care doctors, you know, they kept coming down to see me, and he said to me, it's very lucky it didn't happen in Two Rocks. So I'm really glad that it happened on that night straight after it. So I can sit here and still make videos for all you lovely people. So I wanted to say a big thank you to all of you who've been praying for me, and all the well wishes and everything like that. I really, really appreciate it. And it really, really works, because I was not nervous at all when it come to having going under anaesthetic. I wasn't worried about the operation, but going under anaesthetic was something that always frightens me. The last time I had to go under anaesthetic, I tried to actually get up and go away. But this time, no, I was just joking with him, you know, make sure he said left breast, and I said, are you sure? And we started laughing. That's all I remember. So, you know, yeah, I'm very grateful to be sitting here, and I think everything it'll be onwards and upwards from now on, because he did say to me, you know, that my cancer was all localized in that breast. It hadn't spread anywhere beside that one lymph node that went flat after the chemo. So, you know, I'm pretty sure everything's going to be positive from now on. I'll probably make an update after the 30th of March to let you all know what the oncologist says if I do have to have more chemo, and you know what's happening with that, because there's a lot of things about cancer and journeys and things like that. But even when it comes to mastectomy, to have a look, if you look at a mastectomy without any reconstruction pictures, some of them looked truly awful. Enough for me to email my surgeon and say, you know, because some of them like have skin tags hanging on the side and things like that. And I emailed him and I said to him, is it going to be like a flat scar? And it'll be completely flat. It'll just be a fine white line. Takes up to 6 weeks, I think, for that sort of to heal. But it could even be a year or a bit more, you know, before it goes completely how it was. Now, I heal pretty quickly. I just do. I heal pretty quickly, so I think I'll have a fine scar pretty much okay. But I actually did take a photo of the scar and I sent it to my daughters and I showed my stepdaughter, because everything seems to be hush-hush. You also, once you have the lymph nodes out, and I'll just hide it. You get this little bottle. I'm just hiding it in case anyone's squeamish. And that's a drain, and that actually drains all the fluids, because that's what the lymph nodes are for. They drain all the fluids out of you, you know, sort of out of your body, infections and stuff like that. So that's got to stay in until it's 25 mils over 2 days, you know, over 24 hours over 2 days. Then that can actually come out. So you're going to have a drain. And, you know, I'm not squeamish, so... You know, but I've seen, the trouble is with a lot of the cancer information that you see out there, you've got to make sure it's not American, because they're completely different to how Australia looks after you, okay? Because I've seen some photos where they have 3 drains, whereas I've only got the 1. So he's done it all up into the 1 drain, which is good, because can you imagine having 3 hanging off you all the time, you know? So you have that as well. And she said, I had the nurse come out before just checking up on me, because I always measure my blood pressure, and she said that I'm doing really, really well coming out, because this keeps grinding up. Sorry about that. And she said I'm doing really well. It's draining very, very nicely and everything like that. So yeah, so it's, you know, I should be fine. I mean, I know I'm going to beat this. I always had that that's my mindset, and even the hospital said that you're very, very positive. And it's something that you have to be. You have to be positive. I was sharing a wall with a lovely lady. She was actually stage 4 cancer, and they told her she'd have probably 4 to 6 weeks to live. And it's been 3 years since. She's still here, and she had a bit of exploratory surgery. So I'm really hoping and praying everything goes well for her, because I think hers was in her stomach. I'm not 100% sure. She spoke very quickly, and I didn't have my hearing aids all the time when I was in hospital, because I needed to sleep, so I'd take them out and crash. So, you know, and we both said that it's very, very important to have a positive attitude. If you've got a positive attitude towards cancer, you'll beat it. And even if it is a worse stage, mine was stage 2, so it's relatively mild, you know, what I've got. But even if you have got a more scarier diet, I just wanted to really instill on how important it is to have a positive attitude. If you have a positive attitude, you know, you can live a lot longer than what the doctors say. I mean, you know, they only go by statistics and things like that. So just really try and stay positive, no matter what you're fighting, autoimmune disease, cancer, anything it is that you're suffering from, try and keep positive. And that's, you know, as soon as I knew I had cancer. I knew it. Everyone was saying you'll be fine, but I just knew it. I knew that I had it, and I was shit scared and depressed and everything like that. But then as soon as I found out that I had it, my biggest fear was confirmed. That was it. I thought, right, what do I got to do now? How I'm going to beat this, you know? Because I want to live a lot longer. Both my parents are 90. I've got to live longer than them, for God's sake. So, you know, I want to I want to live a lot longer. Of course you do. I'm only going to be 55. But as soon as I found out what it was, the fear was taken away from me. Funny enough, the fear of death, which I've had for quite a while as I've gotten older, went away. And I just focused. So I was focused on each step. So the first step for me was having the 4 lots of chemo to try and shrink it. Found out it didn't shrink. So then straight away I wanted to up it and get the surgery done. Okay, that's done now. So my next step now is you take it in steps. So my next step now is getting the bandage removed, and they just put steri strips on it, and they'll fall off when they're ready to. Then after that's done, the next step is to see the oncologist to see what I've got what type of chemo I've gone. Once that's done, then the next step is a radiotherapy, and then the next step is going, I suppose, on the hormone. I'm not too sure how soon they actually put you on them tablets. I don't know. So if you have been diagnosed with something, take it in small steps. Just take each step as it comes. Take each day as it comes. If you feel like crying and falling in a heap, do it. But then pick yourself back up and get along with life. You can't dwell in misery, sort of thing. I mean, I'll admit I have a few days where I do get depressed. I feel a little bit down, particularly when the week after I've had my chemo, because it really knocks you for a six. It does. Since I've been taking my crystals with me, it's been working a lot. I hardly feel the effects as much, and I've never thrown up once with my chemo. I only ever had reflux, which I take daily tablets for now. That's the only sort of side effect that I've ever had. So I think the best advice is when something happens, if you just got to take it in steps. Like my liver function is a little bit high, but I've always had that with my liver. It's always read a little bit high. A couple of years back I did have a liver scan. It wasn't fatty or anything like that. I don't drink, I don't smoke. We've radically changed our diet yet again to even incorporate more fresh fruit and vegetables and so forth. So I've got to have another blood test in 2 weeks, and they're going to test it again, because it actually did improve. But what they're thinking is because of the sepsis that I had, the surgery and everything like that, just made it go up. I mean, I'm not in any pain. I actually feel really, really good. Even I rang my father yesterday, let him know that I'm okay, and he said, you just sound like normal now, and I do feel normal now, unless of course I've got to have more chemo, then I'll probably get tired and all that again. But you got to do these things. So I think my advice is that when you have been got an unfortunate diagnosis, whatever it is, just take it baby steps at a time, each step at a time, and that's what we do. That's what my husband and I do. So you have to do that. But I'm not going to lie, I was scared shitless, but as soon as I got my worst fears confirmed, it just went. Right, what do I have to do? And that's what you've got to do. It's really important to be positive, and it's been proven medically that people who have got a positive outlook do really, really well than others who are not. It really gets to them. But if you feel like if you feel like you can't get out of this slump, well then get some help, because there's lots of help around. There really, really is. If you need it, there's lots of help. A lot of cancer support and counselling and stuff that I could get for free, but I haven't needed any counselling because I've got all my friends all over the world. And when I did used to feel down, I'd go back to my videos when I first started making these about my cancer journey, and I'd read all the comments and the love and the support, and it would just pick me right up again. So I'm not a martyr. Of course I get down sometimes, but for me the worst is over now. I've gotten rid of this breast, which is kind of funny, because as soon as when I got diagnosed with it, I kind of said goodbye to my breast straight away. I didn't like to touch it. I didn't like to look at it. I didn't like anything. It was just, and now it's gone. I feel like I've got my body back, funny enough. Although my dad did ask me yesterday if I'm walking lopsided now. And the disadvantage of having one boob and not being able to wear a bra is you can't actually put your crystals in your bra anymore. So I'll have to wait till I can start wearing a bra again, because it's going to be a while, because it's the adenoid part that is the most part. I've got no pain whatsoever on my scar. I have a little bit here's a bit tender, because that's probably a little bit bruised. I've got actually I haven't got much bruising. I thought I'd be more black and blue, but it's not too bad. I wouldn't show you my scar now because I don't want to freak anybody out. But I'm very happy with it. It doesn't look as bad as I thought it was. Not that I really care, do you know what I mean? I'm just glad that it's gone, and now I can get my health back on track. and that's probably about it. But yeah, if you know, if you do get diagnosed with something, just take it in baby steps, you know, and reach out if you need help. Don't feel guilty if you need help, you know, truly don't. But I've been very lucky. I've got support of so many good friends. I feel terrific. I feel really good. So I'll leave it at that because it's been going about 25 minutes now. But I thought I'd better provide an update because I know everybody will probably be wondering, for those of you wondering what's going on. So it looks like it's good. I'll have the final prognosis on the 23rd of March. He'll let me know, you know, I suppose if there's anything else. Well, it won't be anything there because he already told me that in my last consultation with him. He said, you know, it'll be good because it's all in the one spot. So, you know. So once again, thank you so much for all the warm wishes, the prayers, support, the love. It's really appreciated. I can't tell you enough how much I appreciate it because I really felt it. It's kept me calm throughout this journey. It's given me strength. It's just been it's beautiful. It really has. For those of you who say you can't make online friends, I've had made 3 best friends through my YouTube channel, and you know, you can. It's wonderful. So once again, thank you all very much, and I will keep you updated. And so probably the next video won't be till after the 30th of March because then I'll really know what the next step is going to be from then onwards when it comes to having chemo or not. But I'm definitely going to insist that I can take it orally. I do not want to have any PICC lines because I'm only supposed to have another 4, so surely they can give me some oral medication instead of actually having to put my poor body, you know. I mean, if I look at my arm, it looks like a pincushion. Hey, I've got it even in my foot, you know. I had to get some type of blood or put something in my foot. So there you go. So really, thank you. I can't thank you enough. I truly can't. Until next time, this is Tracy.